Hi guys, my name is Okoyemi Emmanuel, photographer based in Lagos, Nigeria. In this tutorial, I want to show you how I smooth skin using frequency separation in Photoshop. Without any further ado, let's dive into the tutorial. The first thing I do when working on my skin, I want to remove blemishes and make sure that I have a clean skin before going for frequency separation. There's this trick that I like to use often. I come to Windows, arrange, and come to make new file for this, and then after that come to window again, arrange, and then to up vertical. This will reduce my stress of zooming out and zooming in almost every time. So anything I do on this picture which surely affect this picture here. Any changes I do here will apply to this picture here. So now I'm just going to move this guy in a way that I will like. So I can now zoom in this now a bit so that I will see the blemishes that I will be removing like that. So I will be making use of one of my regular tool to remove blemishes. I'll be making use of the spot healing tool to remove blemishes. To increase the size of your brush, click on the close and open brackets. Close brackets will increase and open brackets will decrease. Okay, this is the idea. When you are removing blemishes, make sure that the size of your brush is a little bit bigger than the size of your of the blemishes you want to remove. So I'm just going to cut this guy down. So something like this is good. So all I need to do is just paint, and that's gone. So paint, ISO, paint, and keep painting. Just a click and the blemish will go away. So this is what I will be doing for some minutes in this video. So I'm just going to fast track this, and once I'm done with the blemishes, I will just come back, then we'll continue with the rest of the tutorial. I'm not going to do a lot of work now, because when I'll still remove more of my blemishes during frequency separation also, so I'll just be a bit subtle. Okay, so I'm gonna stop my blemish removing. I want to consolidate this layer again. Since I'm done removing my blemishes to some extent, I'm still going to remove more blemishes in during frequency separation. So I will just come here and say consolidate layer. Then I can now delete any one of it. Sure. So I'm just going to delete this last layer like this. Good. So now that I've consolidated my layer, I want to zoom in a bit so that I can start my frequency separation like so. Now, before I proceed with the rest of this tutorial, I would like to explain a little bit on what frequency separation truly is. Frequency separation in Photoshop is a modern process that gives you complete control over the delicate textures and color in your images. So what does that mean? We will be working on our texture separately and also work on our color text separately. So now the types of frequency separation, we have high frequency and we have low frequency. Now what is high frequency? High frequency are the ones with regards to texture, impulse, wrinkles, blemishes, and so on and so forth. High frequency. While low frequency separation is color or tone. So if I say, anytime I say high, I'm referring to my I'm referring to my texture. Anytime I say low, definitely you should know I'm referring to my color or tone. So please put that to heart. Now let's dive in without any further ado. Now I'm just going to duplicate this layer, background layer, and then is either you press Ctrl J on your keyboard, or you just drag and drop in this icon and do that again. So duplicate it twice, so you have like 3 layers. You want to rename the middle one to color, you can say blue or color or tone, whichever one you want to use, but for the sake of this tutorial I want to use color. Now after renaming that, I want to come back here and rename this guy also to texture, like so. Then after doing that, I want to uncheck the indicate layer visibility of texture layer, then make sure I select color layer. The next thing I want to do is to go to filter and then blur, then Gaussian blur. While my color layer is selected, radius in Gaussian blur is a way of making your picture blurry. I'm sure you can see what happens to the picture as I'm increasing radius. Now this is the technique: the higher the radius, the more textures. But on a normal way, if you increase the radius, the picture becomes kind of blurry to our normal human face, because the main idea is that we're just going to extract the color into a layer. So what we are doing now actually is to extract the color into one particular layer. I want to stop the radius at a point whereby I'm beginning to lose out details, or I'm no longer seeing any details in the face of my model. So let's just go ahead and do that, like so. I think I can still see, like so. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to use 14 videos of 14 for this. You just die in 14 here. Yes, I think I'm very cool with this. So the next thing you want to do, click on OK. We have just extracted the colors in this image on the color layer. Now we want to try and extract our texture out of the color into texture layer that we have created also. So go to image, apply image, and also a dialog box like this will come up. Your source is your image number, your flat file number actually. Then the second one here is layer. In this case we want to extract our texture out of color layer. So you come to your layer to select color, because we are extracting texture out of the color layer. Now your channel will be RGB. Now for the sake of this tutorial, I'm working with a 16-bit image. My settings will differ from those that work with 8-bit. So I will give you the setting for both 16-bit and 8-bit. So if you are working with 8-bit image, you will come to your blending option and select subtract. Then you will set your scale to 2, then your offset to 128, then you click OK. But as I'm working with 16-bit image, I will come here and select add, then set my scale to 2, then my offset to 0, then come here to click on invert. Now we have the same result, like half of RGB color, which is grayish look. Then you click OK. Now the next thing you want to do is to go to your blending option over here and then change this to linear light, like so. The next thing you want to do is to hold shift on your keyboard, like so, and then while texture layer is selected, hold down shift, then click on color layer. Now the next thing you want to do, you want to group these two together, and you can press Ctrl G on your keyboard. Now come here and double click on the group one, then you can rename it to frequency separation. So now after when you're done, you can now collapse this to see that by the time I close the indicate layer visibility of texture layer, you notice that the only thing I'm seeing now is the tone or color. if I on the indicate layer visibility of texture layer back, then I close indicate layer visibility of color layer, you can see that the only thing I get here is texture. So let me help you by zooming in. How do I zoom in? Ctrl++ on your keyboard, Ctrl-minus to zoom out. So now if I zoom in like this and I on this, you know we have a perfect skin tone. But by the time I close the eye indicates layer visibility icon of texture layer, you know, it will give us the tone alone. You can see we can barely read the information on the model's face. The only thing you can see is the blurriness which contain our color information. So now in this case, these two layers make a one solid image, which is frequency separation. So if I click on and off this frequency separation folder, you notice that nothing happened to the image. But if I come in and uncheck it one by one, you can see it is actually affected. So can you see that? So that is frequency. That's the way to set your frequency separation. Now I want to start working on this on my image by first working on my color, and then make use of my mixer brush tool. Make use of my mixer brush tool. How do I get my brush? Click on your brush, this little arrow here, click on it, then you see your mixer brush here. If you cannot get your mixer brush here, this mixer brush, if you cannot get it here, I'm sure you can always get it from these three dots. Just click on this arrow, then a couple of tools will come up. You can come and pick up your mixer brush tool from here. Now like so, I want to start by giving an accurate setting for my brush. The idea of working on tone is I want to make sure that we have a smooth transition on the model skin. Now you come to this place and make sure you have a clean brush. Click on this drop down arrow and make sure your brush is clean. Then if you are doing this for the first time, this tool might be selected. Make sure you uncheck this guy and make sure it is this guy that is selected. And selecting this guy means that you want the brush to clean after each strokes. So the next thing you want to set your wet to 30, your low to 30, and your mix to 20, then your flow to 27. Now make sure that sample all layer is not checked. Make sure that sample all layers is not checked. So now then you can continue with your mixer brush tool. Use the bracket, open and close bracket like I've said, to increase the size of your brush. Then you can now start painting like so. Start painting like so. Start painting like so. Start painting. The idea is that we just want a very smooth transition. Yes, very smooth transition. Yes, in the mid-tone, shadow, and then highlight. So this is the quick before and after. This is before and this is after. Can you see that? Before, after. Now, so it's smoothing off and you can still have nice details on our screen. Before, after, before and after. Before and after. So once I'm done with that, I want to come again to pick my lasso tool here and then start drawing around my model like this. So, something like this, yeah. So then go to filter, blur, and Gaussian blur. Then I started with 14. I'll just multiply this by 3, multiply 3, give us 42. So I'm just going to intentionally use 40 now. 40, yes. So make sure you add a feather of 22 or 20 to 22 feathers. Then after once you are done with that, come here and do the same thing to this side of the face also, and do the same thing. Now come to this side of the face and do the same thing. Then come to this side of the face and do the same thing. Just right click and hit the cushion block, and here also let's do the same thing here and the same thing. So okay, let's go to this. So now after that you come here and do the same thing, and you leave that place and come to do the same thing here, this side of the face. Yes, like so. And come to this place and do the same thing. Yes, like so. Then come to this side and do the same thing also, because we want that smoothness. And same here also. Like so. Perfect now. So, and what do that thing? I want to come to this side and do the same thing. Yes, like so. Do the same thing here also. So make sure you are not crossing the highlights on the nose, and do the same thing. Now, once we are done, we want to come to the neck. Now this time around, I'm going to just reduce the size of my radius. So instead of using the 40, I'm going to cut it down to like 15 or 14 here. Just use 14 or 20. Okay, let me use 20 like that. So the same 20 is what I will use to apply to all of this. Yes. Okay, so I'll come to this side and do the same thing like so. Now come here, from here, just select it that way and like so, and hit it, same thing. Good. So come to the hand, and because the hand is not so in focus, so I'm just gonna be very subtle with it. It looks smoothened already, so that hence it turns, it looks like blemishes. So I mean, looks like manicure. So I just go to blur, Gaussian blur, and reduce it back to, let's say, 39 or 14. Let me use 14 for her, like so. So then come to this place. Okay, so now I've just done that now. So the next thing I want to do is to come to my texture layer. Make sure you select your texture layer. Then I would want to move in a bit so that I can see the rest of the blemishes that I must remove. So yes, I can see some here. So pick your clone stamp tool and then hold all to sample and paint. Sample very close to blemishes and paint. Make sure this guy is on like so. So sample and paint, sample, paint, sample, paint. Sample, paint. Now I'm using the patch tool now to remove the blemishes. Since so I'll come to the clothes and do some stuff there. So like so. So these are before and this is the after. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I really want to smoothen this suit jackets, which is it. So when you are doing that, make sure you select your color layer. Alright, then go to filter and then add blur, Gaussian blur, then 20. Yeah, good. So that's it. Now do the same thing to the side of the suit jacket and then the same thing. Yeah, and yeah, smoothing it also. Okay, so filter, let's let this guy filter, Gaussian blur, like so, and click OK. So that's it. The next thing I want to do, I just want to do it to this side of the, smoothing this side of the suit also. Just right click, Gaussian blur, like so. Now do the hand back area, I'll just do like this, Gaussian blur, yes, looked iron, yes, like so, and then right click also, Gaussian blur. The next thing I want to do is this, and then this, like so, and then what is that thing? This side also, like so. So majorly we are trying to smoothen out the suit also to some extent, then go ahead and remove the blemishes that we might have on the suit also. So I'm just going to switch to my clone style now. Then I will select my textures layer and then keep pasting. And got it there. Let me use my patch tool instead. Nice, yeah. Nice, Usually this is how I smooth skin using frequency separation in Photoshop majorly. So this is where we are coming from. This was before and this is after. Before, after, before, after. Thank you so much. If you know you have this tutorial has helped you in one way or the other, please do well to like and then subscribe, then on the notification button so that you can see more videos like this. Thank you. Peace out.